So you're trying to write lyrics, you're staring at a blank piece of paper and you just can't seem to get the words out. So you scour the net looking for advice and tips and you get stuff like, go get inspiration, or write every day, practice writing, or write about what you know. The problem with these tips is they don't really get to the root of the problem, do they? In this video, we're going to try to provide you with a solution, one with actionable steps that you can take to jumpstart the lyric writing process. So what is this magic technique? Well, to explain it in a nutshell, instead of trying to create lyrics from the ground up and from scratch, we're going to fish those words out using the help of the music. Basically, it involves you humming along to the music. By humming along, you create nonsense vowels that you eventually turn into words. And from those words, you create coherent phrases and sentences. And then you combine those phrases and sentences into choruses, verses, and eventually you end up with the full lyrics. So we're going to go try this method out now. And if you're new to this method, it'll seem a little weird, a little strange, but it seems to work for a lot of big name artists out there.
That's it.
And I pray to the prayed and I'm falling away. No,
I'll just start sort of vamping, in Ellen Rigby's case, just starting vamping on an E minor chord. And then I start singing over it. Ba-do-do-da, ba-do-do-da. And you can almost hear words in what you're blocking out. So I kind of work backwards. I just get a phrase that like comes out of nowhere.
So in the last video, I was showing you the song I was working on, and I came up with the chord progression and the melody by humming it out. And I'll play that for you now. And so I've already kind of worked this out earlier, but I'll give you a sped up version of how I use this method to come up with the lyrics. So I started out singing the nonsense vowels. So at the end of those phrases, I hear the words eh and So then I played around with those vowels. Well, what word has those vowels? Eh and letter. So I came up with the first word, letter. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, what rhymes with letter? And I ended up choosing the word better. So from the word letter, the thought of love letters came to mind. And from the word better, the concept of someone being better. And so by combining those two words, the idea of a breakup story emerged. And so from there, I looked for more words, and I heard three other vowels. I heard an A, an O, and an I. I heard the word take for the A vowel and the word clothes for the O, and then the word time at the very end of the phrase. Take your clothes and take your letters, leave me here with someone better. All right, that works. Take your clothes and take your letters, leave me here for someone better. Another time, another time. Save your words for another time. Boom! We have the first half of the chorus. And after a couple minutes, we get a full chorus. Take your clothes and take your letters, leave me here for someone better. Save your words for another time. And I'll hit the coast with no vendetta. Leave me here so I can get there, to a place back when you were mine. Okay, great. So you have a chorus, and then from there you would just keep on going and try to apply that same method to the verses, the pre-choruses, and the bridge. All right, so we've seen how this technique solves the initial problem of writer's block, but the benefits don't stop there. On his website, Cliff Goldmacher refers to the Hippocratic Oath of lyric writing. Do no harm. And in order to do no harm, you gotta avoid four main things. Lyrics that sound unnatural, lyrics that are too wordy, lyrics that sound forced, and lyrics with bad prosody. Let's go over these one by one. Alright, lyrics that sound unnatural. For some of you out there, it may actually be pretty easy to get the words out. You write out the lyrics, they're grammatically correct, everything makes sense, clear and concise, it's poetic and beautiful, and yet when you put it to the music, it just sounds off. The problem with creating words first is that we don't know how they'll sound when sung later. But by starting with the end goal in mind, by singing out the words and finding them that way, the words write themselves in a way that sounds natural. Okay, lyrics that are too wordy. This is also a common result of writing lyrics and melody separately. You come up with very detailed lyrics that explains everything you want to say, but then end up having to cram the words into the melody later on. Wordiness on its own isn't necessarily a problem. I mean, just check out Ed Sheeran's work. He's got a very rhythmic and wordy verse on Shape of You, and rap-like verses on Galway Girl. But he does it purposefully and with intent. Right, lyrics that sound too perfect. Starting out, we're often told that songs are poetry. The problem with that is we often start out writing songs that end up sounding a little too sing-songy. You end up with a song that sounds a little forced, maybe even a bit corny, like nursery rhymes put to music. The fact is, songs are not poetry because songs have to be sung. And because they have to be sung, they have to sound natural. And a poetic approach to writing lyrics can often prevent that from happening. Number 4, lyrics with bad prosody. This is just a fancy way of describing the pattern of accents within a phrase, a sentence, in our case, lyrics. And you guessed it, you can have good prosody and bad prosody. As with the other problems we already talked about, singing along to the music from the beginning automatically prevents that from happening. After all, you wouldn't say, "I went to the store to get some milk." Similarly, you wouldn't naturally hum out words on the wrong accent. You also want to avoid accenting the wrong syllables within a word. Singing letter as letter would sound very strange indeed. And this is why I avoided using the word deter in my lyrics, because the music accents the first vowel, and the word deter accents the second syllable. So I challenge you to try out this method today to help you get through that writer's block. It's 2 main advantages, being that it helps jumpstart the lyric writing process and helps prevent you from making common lyric writing mistakes. If you have any other tips to add, please let me know in the comments below, or let me know whether you like this technique or whether you prefer to write lyrics first, and let me know why. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. I already have a part 2 to this video where we'll look at all the other challenges when it comes to songwriting, such as how you get around difficult to rhyme words and other helpful tips. So please stay tuned and I'll see you on the next one.